are working to fix it. But for now, a lot of people at home watching the game with their friends and family, thank you very much. As Sioux Falls Roosevelt starts with the ball, first down and 10 from the 20. Starting quarterback, Talon Ashley. And he's going to roll out, and he's going to go deep right away, and it is intercepted! You said it, they went for Tyler Feldkamp, and it's picked off by number 14, Noah Thompson.
Noah Thompson. So the Rough Riders come out in a spread, complete offense out of the shotgun. That brought we didn't have Noah Thompson on the starting defense. He must come in the kind of the nickel package when they take a linebacker out. Big interception, underthrown for Feldkamp. Feldkamp was open and underthrown, and the Lynx with a big turnover to start this game.
Well, and just like we said, the one thing that can settle Lucas Slack's nerves is to get a 0 on the board when he has the ball. First down, here's a play fake. Now Slack's going to go deep, and he's got a man, but it's just overthrown, incomplete to the guy we were just talking about. That's Austin Vigensk. A good throw just led him a little too far, and it will be 2nd and 10.
You know, I like the size of Slack at quarterback. He's a bigger kid, and also that's a beautiful ball. He just overshot him a little bit. Your tight end, right away, they're going to their tight end up the seam. That's a great play call. We'll see if they come back to the running game out of the shotgun here.
Plenty of time to grow. A sophomore, 6 foot, already a $175. And he certainly looks like he's in control so far. They're going to pitch it out wide to Tate Johnson. We're going to hear his name a lot. And he fights forward across midfield into enemy territory at the 45-yard line as number 44, DeAndre Joseph, gets in there for the tackle for Roosevelt. And it is going to be 3rd and about 2 for Brandon Valley. We know that there is no clock as well on the broadcast stream. We're working to fix that as well. We are just underway, 1 minute in. So 3rd down and about 2.5. Slack rolling. He's going to try to run it, and it looks like he is going to be very close to a first down.
I like that
composure.
I like that composure out of the quarterback when you have to go get it. And we saw this from last year with Skolton. He would just go get the first down with his feet. If the pass wasn't there, that's a really, really good play. And to carry the momentum from the turnover, Slack's doing a good job in this first series.
And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, we welcome you. We are just a minute into this game. And we apologize for the conflict there. First down and 10 for the 40. The Lynx already got an interception. They're going to hand it off. Tate Johnson, right side. And the Bruiser moves forward for 5 to the 35-yard line. And this offense is clicking pretty well. They got the ball in good field position, but they are looking tough so far.
Yeah, and some new offensive linemen, too. That was kind of the question mark coming into this season, too. We'd lost some offensive linemen. There's some new offensive linemen. And see how they're performing. They're winning right now the line of scrimmage, and if they can continue to do that all night, that's going to take the pressure off Slack a lot.
2nd down and 6. A whole revamped, new-looking offense. They pitch it out wide, and we'll tell you why in a second, but here goes Tate Johnson. And he's right near the red zone, down near the 19-yard line. The Lynx on the interior have Nate Myers, Brady Copel, and left guard Sam Wadia, 240, 240, and 220. So they're going to run the ball on the outside because they got some bigger guys at their tackle position, and that's why you haven't seen too many runs in the interior yet, right, Ken?
Yeah, and at left tackle, Jackson Mullet at 310 pounds. Your tackles are sitting at 310 and 270 at 6'3" and 6'4". That's a big offensive line.
First down and 10 from the 20. Johnson, not this time. A big group of Roosevelt Rough Riders leading the charge, Brandon Dannenberg.
And one thing about Roosevelt, they're going to try to clog that middle. They know that our running game's good. One thing people won't understand is that offensive play callers have to kind of mix it up there and run up the middle to make them honest defensively. We know we can get to the outside on this team. It's shown already.
3 wide receivers set. Hilton at the top of your screen. Play action. Pressure coming. Slack just dumps it off to Vegans. Makes the catch. A bruising hit at near the 15-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 6 coming up. So a short gain on that play. Just trying to maybe get Lucas Slack, the sophomore quarterback, a little bit comfortable. The first pass he threw was incomplete. It was a good throw. But some of these shorter passes could get his confidence back up a little bit.
And that's what a lot of coordinators or coaches will do. They'll try to complete a couple consecutive passes short and let his rhythm start. You know that as a pitcher in baseball, that's what it is. You throw strikes and it becomes something that you can do all game.
Tell that to the Twins pitching staff today. Slack looking, throwing, intercepted. Picked off to the right side, Lucas Slack. Great play running him down. Slack makes the tackle, but it's intercepted by Tucker Large. And just like that, Slack and Talon Ashley trading interceptions, and Roosevelt has the ball right near midfield.
Yeah, and that's just a mistake. He threw it to the inside of an out route. That was a complete out route by Jackson Hilton. He threw it to his inside. Tucker Large is a very, very good corner. He just showed it. He jumped that route. He read the quarterback. 1st down, Roosevelt.
Well, and a great tackle by Lucas Slack, because I thought he was down almost near midfield, but he caught up to him right near the 35-yard line. A great open field tackle, because if Lucas Slack doesn't make that tackle, he's gone. 1st down, fumbled snap, and it's going to go down as a sack. Aiden Lloyd, the defensive end, was the first to get there. So an inauspicious start for quarterback Talon Ashley. And he's a sophomore. So we got 2 sophomore quarterbacks here today for the 1st and 2nd ranked teams in the state.
Roosevelt goes no huddle as they go to a wristband called from the sideline. The defense has to be ready. It's hard to sub for the Lynx defense.
Well, Feldkamp's at the top of your screen. Keep an eye out for him. Ashley's rolling. He's looking, and he finds him. Feldkamp caught 1st down midfield. And it looked like they had two defensive backs there. One of them, Parker Reed, but he's just too quick.
He is. He's a tremendous wide receiver. They put him in the slot. He's more of instead of an X receiver, he's a Z receiver, what they say, into the slot, and he can do multiple things. They'll screen with him. They'll do a lot of things inside that offense.
Joey Teray in at running back. Throw out wide is caught. And that's Feldkamp again. Heads to the right side and nearly 20 yards on that play. And a little razzle-dazzle, letting him know that he got that 1st down. You can do that when you're that good.
And that's just a little bubble screen. That's all that was. So 2 receivers is out of a trips formation, 3 receivers to the right. And they just bubble him, and they get him on a swing pass and let his legs run after the catch, do all the work, and that's what he did.
7:03 to go here in this 1st quarter. Both teams trading turnovers if you're just tuning in. 1st down and 10. Pass out wide is caught by the running back, Teray, and he gets about 6.
So as a defensive coordinator, you got to look at that. They brought the house there. The Lynx did. They brought at least 2 linebackers. I agree they got to put on pressure, but who's going to cover that running back out of the backfield? Because that's the check down for your quarterback when there's so much pressure coming, because your linebackers are not going to be able to cover that running back.
For as athletic as the linebacking core is, that is always tough against a running back. Throw out wide, another bubble screen. It's caught. And we're going to be pretty close to a 1st down here. I think he got it. Catch was made by Jabe Chieso.
So defensively for the Lynx, so a lot of screens are happening right now. They're trying to get their quarterback comfortable too. You see no running game right now for Roosevelt. They're using those screens as their running game right now. So how do you combat that? You kind of jam. You jam with your corners. Make that quarterback make a deep throw instead of this dink and dunk passing.
So I'll get to a question here after this play. Now he's going to run it. Ashley doesn't get far, but he keeps pushing forward, tackled by Damian Shunke. So when you say What did you say that they were going to do with the corners? They were going to bring them in.
Yeah,
get them closer to the wide receiver.
Yeah, but you gotta bring everybody up and kind of jam them off the line of scrimmage.
Jamming them.
Yep, so they can't get that free release and then bubble screens, and that's going to put your defenders at a better position to catch those bubble screens.
Second down. Here's the handoff. It is to Joe Teray, and he gets near the 13-yard line, as he was tackled on the play at the bottom of that pile for Brandon Valley as number 60, Dante Miller. He's a senior and a big part of this Lynx defense. Third down and a big 3 coming up.
And we see a little bit of undersized. We talked about that we're going to be quick up front with our defensive line, but a little undersized. You're starting to see a little bit of a wear from that big offensive line for Roosevelt.
Lots of pressure, and they might have just knocked Ashley right out of field goal range.
And that's a great defensive call by Coach Christensen. We know Coach Christensen is being probably the best defensive coordinator in this state, okay, in the state of South Dakota. And he dialed up a perfect blitz. He brought him off the edge, and, man, that was a money blitz. And that really turned things around because they only had 2 yards to get that first down. They were rolling. What a good play call by Coach Christensen.
Well, there's 3 defenders there. I don't know who to give credit to. I'll give it to Dominic Tucker, but that was just great overall. This is a 40-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold, and it hits the upright. It's no good. The kicker, number 22, Bennett Yellowbird, is down on the field, but I think he just slipped and fell. No penalties on the play. So the Lynx catch a big break. They push them back on that sack, and it's still 0-0.
Well, and Roosevelt's, their history of kickers are pretty good. I mean, anytime you have Vinatieri coming from here, and Chase Vinatieri that's up at SDSU, he's no longer there now, but he was tremendous for him back in the day for Roosevelt, and that was a good kick. It's just off. Now, this is a clash of the Titans, isn't it?
Number 1 versus number 2, yeah, indeed.
4 minutes to go, and, boy, the coaching staffs have their hands – I mean, they're doing a tremendous job, both sides.
So far, so good. We had the option play, and it was Lucas Slack to the right side, gain of 5. He held on to it, and at this point, you got so many different assets to go with for this Lynx offense that they're just trying to get them some space right now, it looks like. Just trying to get anybody loose on the outside, anybody they can get their hands on.
Try to keep that running game going. They're picking up chunks of yards.
Now they're in the eye. Classic run. Tate Johnson, very close. But it's going to be 3rd and about a yard. And if I'm the Lynx, I challenge them and do just about the exact same thing.
Yeah, and you got to see what line's gonna win the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 1, and this is a big momentum builder early in this first quarter. It's really, really such a tight game. Both of these teams you can see are really evenly matched.
Luke Wickersham checking out. Sam Skolton checking in. They're going to pitch it out, almost a wild snap, but it looks like Tate Johnson is able to move the sticks and get a first down as time continues to wind. We got 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Again, sorry we do not have a game clock as of yet, but we are working on that.
So I'm looking at number 99, DJ Watkins, the defensive lineman, the senior for Roosevelt. He's 295 pounds, 6 foot, and they play a kind of a 3-4 defense, as you can see, and he's really clogging that middle.
First down, Slack. Well, he's going to try to run it this time, but this time it doesn't work as he's tackled for a short loss, maybe 3 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd and 13.
So Lynx offense, okay, and Kyle just had to make sure the clock was running.
My fault. Sorry, folks. That was not very professional.
Just trying to help everybody.
Had to let our
here.
friends know over there. But we got 2.5 to go here in this first quarter, a very exciting first quarter. And it'll be 2nd down and 13. That's not going to get me a job at Fox Sports anytime soon. Pass to the outside is caught by Vigans, but a good open field tackle made by DeAndre Joseph, number 44. This Roosevelt defense is no slack either.
Yeah, they can fly to the ball. They're showing it so far in this game. One thing, give them a little bit of their medicine, okay? They worked a lot of bubble screens, a lot of screens, okay, outside the hashes. That's what Roosevelt did. Maybe we start doing that with Tate Johnson and Jackson Hilton. You know, we're going to Vikens quite a bit, and I agree we should. He's a great tight end, but we got to start getting the ball into our playmakers' hands to gain first downs and gain the momentum of this game.
Under 2 to play in the first quarter. Neither Jackson Hilton nor Peyton Carroll has touched the ball. Maybe they'll do it here. Pass just a little bit low, incomplete. But they did try to get it to Hilton. It was just thrown a little bit too far into the turf. And it will be 4th down, and the Lynx will punt.
And a great block by Tate Johnson as he picked off that linebacker coming off the edge. It's just underthrown a little bit, but that's what's happening right now. They're trying to roll, slack out, and it's working, okay? But there's such tight coverage in the back, in the secondary, that they're not able to get any separation.
Aiden Lloyd to punt it away for Brandon Valley. Lloyd, lots of pressure, but he gets it away. Good punt. Tucker Large gets some space, and he's tackled at the 39-yard line. And that's where Roosevelt will get the ball again. A pretty impressive drive ended with a sack, knocking them all the way back. And they had to kick a 40-yard field goal that just hit the left upright. So the Lynx defense came in big when it needed to, and that's going to be a theme of this year, folks.
So we have a transfer that came in, number 4, Owen Warren for the Lynx. He's your starting middle linebacker.
On first down, Warren actually was right in there for the stop. And he is a linebacker, and they're saying some very nice things about Owen Warren.
He looks the part. I've been watching him defensively. He really looks the part at the middle linebacker position. If folks can see him, number 4 there. You've never seen him before, folks, because he transferred in this year.
But you'll hear his name plenty. Some of them are saying the best since the days of Sorensen back in the good old days, as some would call it. Handoff left side. Good open field tackle, Tyree Nave on the run. It was all Joe Torrey in the last drive for Roosevelt. He didn't get far this time. It's going to be 3rd and 7. And a big 3rd down coming up. Lynx trying to stall this drive right here. But I don't think they're going to get an opportunity. Maybe Roosevelt tries one more play. We're under 10 seconds to go in this first quarter. And they're going to let time run out, and we will switch sides. So a scoreless first quarter between number 1 Roosevelt and number 2 Brandon Valley. As Pigskin, number 20, 20th anniversary, the first quarter comes to an end. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Alliance Communications, Sioux Valley Energy, Coca-Cola, Midco, Sanford, and Sunshine Foods. We're going to have more sponsors as the season goes along, but we'd like to thank them for the time being for bringing us year number 5. It's the 20th Pigskin Classic, but year number 5 for Lynx TV.
And it's been wonderful. We've seen a lot of championships. We saw a couple years ago football championship in AAA, the boys and girls basketball championships, champions, and we've seen a lot more than that through the Lynx athletics. It's just been amazing, and what a program. And hats off to this whole community, Brandon and Valley Springs. It's top class, and I don't even know how to put it, is for a town this size with, I believe, half the student population than these other schools, and we're talking about Sioux Falls schools.
Yep.
Okay, besides O'Gorman. And to compete at this high level and compete for championships year in, year out is amazing.
Well said. And if you're just tuning in, shout out to Bobby Rodriguez, who did both Lynx soccer games today on Lynx TV. The girls defeated Washington 5-1. Boys fell 3-1 to Washington. Then over at the gym today, we didn't have it on Lynx TV, but the Brandon Valley Lynx volleyball team fell 3-1. And your boy was at all three games so far. I was at all three.
Great job.
So don't tell me I don't care about this community. I love these guys.
That's the Lynx way.
That's the Lynx way. I know all of you can't be at the games, but we do appreciate you watching. And if you're on YouTube, again, we're really sorry you missed kickoff, but you're here now. The second quarter is about to begin, and it's going to begin with a bang because we have 3rd and 7 coming up for Roosevelt.
As Aiden Lloyd and Parker Reed from your defensive end positions need to put on some pressure here.
Ashley going deep, and it is overthrown, incomplete, no flags. Jackson Hilton on the coverage, pass intended for Michael Polson, and that is a big stop for this Brandon Valley defense.
It's kind of a questionable call from their offense. I'm talking about the Rough Riders offense. When you need 7, okay, don't try to go get 50.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah, they have plenty of opportunities to go deep already.
Your bubble screens and things have been working, and then you change from that. But we'll allow them to do what they do, and great defense by the Lynx to get the ball back for their offense.
So just underway in this second quarter. Muchkanaus back to receive for the Lynx. Flags. And that is going to be a delay of game penalty. And actually, back to receive the punt now is Peyton Egan, number 34, sophomore. He's a running back, defensive back.
And don't you love to see sophomores playing?
Oh, yeah. Got a few of them. Got some talent, young talent. Lynx just about got there. They're going to let this one bounce. No touchy. Takes a nice Brandon Valley Lynx bounce near the 35-yard line. So just 17 seconds into the second quarter. A defensive struggle so far. Expect that a lot from this Brandon Valley defense.
And what do you say about that scoreboard to your right, Kyle?
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
That rivals, I think that's better than Howard Wood.
It's close.
It's super nice. Hats off to the Booster Club.
Lucas Slack, sophomore quarterback, trying to get something started for the Lynx. In motion was Johnson, and he's going to get the handoff and head left. Nice run for Johnson. Gets 5 to the 40.
One of the things that's untold about how Tate Johnson runs the ball, he's always moving forward. He's never getting negative yards. He's always moving forward. We've just seen there, he's tackled with, with about a 3-yard gain, and he just gets another 2.
And he doesn't look like that kind of a running back. He's not a bruiser or Jerome Bettis big style. Because he's got some speed too. Heads right into Roosevelt territory, down at the 40. Tyler Feldkamp on the tackle.
Great block downfield by his fullback, Luke Wickersham. That was a great block. And you saw that too, is that he gained another 5 yards as he's falling forward, okay? And that's what you love about a running back. And that fullback just taking out that initial tackler was huge for him to gain another probably 12 yards.
A 20-yard gain. And the Lynx are again in Roosevelt territory. Last time they were here, an interception stalled the drive. And a timeout for the Lynx as the play clock was running out. So we're seeing some leakage right now from both teams. Some first game jitters, which is understandable.
Well, we're not going to run the ball up the middle tonight. I'm telling you, this DJ Watkins, We had no idea who he was coming into this ball game.
Nope.
And he is clogging up the middle. And in a 3-4 defense, folks, that's what you need your nose tackle to do. He takes care of the A-gaps, okay, from guard to center to guard. He takes care of all that, and that's what that 295-pound kid does. And so we really have to hit the edges, and that's what's working right now with this drive.
And that's because the Lynx, while they're strong up the middle, just don't have the size with Myers, Kupel, and Wadila. I mean, they're first of all, they're first-time starters. You got right tackle Navarro Shunky. He's a freshman, 6'4", 270, and he's got some time to grow. But he's playing at your right guard position. So right now, new quarterback, new offensive line. I mean, Tate Johnson's still doing his thing. I got to give props to the offensive line.
But
to start out with. It's been
here's
strong.
the thing. Here's the thing. You talked about the freshman, the 6'4", 270-pound Shunky at right tackle. Where are we running the ball right now? Right behind his butt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're that's what we're doing. We're following him and his lead block in Wickersham, and they're doing a great job. You talked about Brady Kopel. He's got his hands full.
Yes, he does.
With that Watkins, he is a hands full. And that's what's true about, like I talked about, a 3-4 defense. You need the nose tackle. If you don't have a big clogger up there, that 3-4 will never work. So we got to hit the edges. Those outside linebackers have to come in and make a tackle. But our tackles, our left tackle and our right tackle, are doing a tremendous job so far, and they're big. Mm-hmm. We have some big tackles. And it helps to have Vegans out there too. We know Vegans can block from the tight end position. We've seen that, especially last year.
A jack of all trades. So timeout is over. Lynx with 2 timeouts remaining. As we're 10:28 to go in the second quarter. Again, we do not have a clock for Lynx TV yet. Looking to get it for our next game next week. Pitch, Johnson. And he's going to fight forward for a couple of yards. As the Lynx, I think they've maybe run the ball, we just talked about it, inside maybe once or twice so far. And this game is flying by because both teams are running a lot of bubble screens, not a lot of incompletions. You know, this isn't, us throwing the ball 40 times a game. That is not going to be our team this year.
And that's what happens. That's what happens when you have 2 sophomore quarterbacks. Unless they can light up the world with the passing game, you got to get those kids comfortable back there because turnovers will happen if you don't.
It looks like we got a flag or maybe a timeout previous to the snap. See what the referee has to say. And it's going to be a legal formation, so the play is nullified. So we didn't see the flag before the snap. It'll back the Lynx up to the 45, and they'll try it again. This time it'll be 1st and 15. A beautiful day for football.
Boy, is it. It's about 70 degrees right now. I saw it about 8 o'clock. It's going to get to 70, 9 o'clock, 66. That's not bad.
Not bad at all. Usually in this first game with these black uniforms, the Lynx are having a heck of a time. Johnson, the motion man. They're going to run the option. Slack. Good run on first down, maybe 4 yards if he's lucky. That'll get him to the 42-yard line. And it'll bring up 2nd and 12. Lynx are going to have to spread it out. They tried to spread it out on the first play of the game. They've really taken no shots since. And they're playing it safe with their new sophomore quarterback.
Well, and here's the change from the sideline. For years, under Coach Garrow, Coach Garrow would have the quarterback run to the sideline and get the play.
You're right. I didn't even notice
that.
that.
Now they have completely changed it, and I like that.
Full control for Slack. He's going to throw it, and it is incomplete into the turf again. So just not quite enough zip on the fastball from Slack. I was talking to a couple of sources before the game. They said Slack's got the brains. He's an elite football mind. He's got the arm. But right now, he's just got to get past the jitters.
Inexperience, you know.
He's going to have time.
Yeah, you're not going against one of the preseason unranked teams. You're going against the number one team, number one defense. You're going against it this evening.
Welcome to the Metro. Slack's going to dump it off. It's caught by Johnson. I think he's going to be just short. Actually, they're going to count him out of bounds near the 35. So now it's decision-making time.
And here's your defense is playing great. Coach Garrow, go for it.
Yep, they're going for it.
Take the momentum and go for it. Try to break their back here in the second quarter. Something has to break here. We have a 0-0 ball game, 9:22 to go in the first half, and something's got to break. And so you got to take your chance. You're on this side of the 50. You're actually this side of the 40 now. Take that chance.
It's not the NFL. You're not going to get a 52-yard field goal from your kicker here. 4th and 5. Biggest play of the game so far. Here's Slack. Lots of pressure. Uh-oh, look out. Stays on his feet. Heads to the outside. And he gets the first down. He's going to be very close, and I think he moved the sticks.
What a great effort by him. Picked up some key blocks, too. Don't get me wrong, but they may be coming back.
Yep, there's flags on the play, and it looks like the Lynx are going to be punting it away here. But what an effort by Lucas Slacks. That's going to get him some trust on his sideline.
And so it's going to back the Lynx up, we believe.
Either a hold or a block in the back, it would appear. I would never speculate, though.
So it's going to.
We don't have a microphone on the referee. We're not made of money here at Lynx TV. And it's an illegal blindside block. We apologize if you heard that from a fan.
They don't like the call.
I don't love it. Because I think I know what block they were talking about. Yeah, it looked like it was all shoulder pad.
It was on the linebacker, number 10, for Brandon Dannenbring for Roosevelt. It was a block on him, and that changes the momentum here. Feldkamp is going to be sitting back waiting for this punt. You do not punt it to this kid. You kick it out of bounds. I mean, that's the game plan I would have.
Well said. They kicked it right to him. He fields it, and Ken was right. Here goes Feldkamp. One man to beat. And Aiden Lloyd takes him down at the 20-yard line. Looks like a block in the back penalty was actually missed. Well, coaches on the sideline are incensed.
The game plan has to be to keep it out of his hands. You do not give him the ball for free. He will do that to you. It's just the way it is. You kick it out of bounds and you take your lumps off of that.
Well, and it looked like he almost fumbled it, but that's how graceful he is. He immediately catches his feet, cuts away from 3 guys that were standing right next to him, and it'll be first down from the 18. 8:44 to go in the second quarter. Ashley sacked. Parker Reed way back they're going to spot it at the 25-yard line, so a loss of 7.
And that senior, Parker Reed, like we talked about in pregame, we've seen him for 2 years now. This is the 3rd year. He came onto the scene as a sophomore and it was really good then. He's going to be counted on big time, and to me, he's one of the best defensive ends, if not the best defensive end in the state.
There's a pitch to the outside to Teray.
And they're going to call in sportsmanlike on Reed there that we were just giving him some props.
Yeah.
It's a questionable call. I'm not going to say Parker Reed did not need to do that, though.
I was watching the runner, so I did not quite see what happened, but I'm sure you guys saw it. So this will push Roosevelt closer, and actually looks like they're going to – oh, nope, they're going to bring it there all the way down to the 11-yard line. but it'll stay second down, so it'll be 2nd and 4 now.
Spotted at the 11-yard line, 2nd down.
And Talon Ashley will try and get his troops into the end zone for the first time this year.
Yeah, have to watch that the screen pass here.
Teray. Nope. 3rd down coming up. Damian Shunke along with Owen Warren down there at the bottom of the pile.
It's going to be interesting to see how we defend out of that. The trip set, I always call it trips. It's a 3-receiver set for people at home or if you're watching online. That 3-receiver set to the top of your screen, you have to watch number 1 here. They will try to bubble him.
3rd down. He's open. Now Ashley's going to run, and he's going to be close to a 1st down. We'll see where they spot it. Roosevelt fans cheering. They say 1st down. Referees say 1st down. It's going to be 1st and goal for Roosevelt, taking advantage of the long punt return by Tyler Feldkamp.
Two big penalties. The Lynx on that penalty with a block in the back or whatever they called it, and the last one here on Parker Reed. There were huge penalties in this first half.
Ashley going to give it off, and the Lynx rush defense has been stout.
On the stop, number 60,
Dante Miller on the tackle
Carry number 1, Tyler Feldkamp.
as they try to get it to Feldkamp in the backfield. Be 2nd and goal.
And we've done a really good job in the running game so far. The Lynx defensive line and linebackers. Now, it's how you're going to cover these outside hashes because they have some playmakers out there that can go get the ball. But remember, this quarterback's his experience is not there either. And we'll see if a mistake happens from him inside the red zone. Everything's tightened up here.
Teray in motion. Ashley fumbled the ball, but he falls right on top of it.
And that comes from a sophomore. It really does.
And now we're going to have a timeout. And it's an illegal shift. There was a flag on the play. Referee put up his hands like it was a timeout, and then all of a sudden he said it was a penalty.
So, number 7, Ashley's going to put the ball on the ground. He's going to. Okay, he's a sophomore. That's just what's going to happen in these games. I'm telling you, folks, turnovers are going to happen. And does it happen when everything tightens up? We know inside the red zone, it's really hard to play football inside the red zone for an offense. Everything tightens up. And so how can we put pressure on him to make that big mistake?
And that's a big penalty because it turns it into a 2nd and 11, almost like a 2nd and long. Ashley throws it out, knocked away. Great defensive play. And it looked like that was Damian Shunke. He can't believe it. He thought he should have had an interception. So a big 3rd down coming up with Roosevelt's kicker, Bennett Yellowbird, already missing 1 field goal. So let's see what Roosevelt, Kim Nelson, and his team dial up for their sophomore Talon Ashley. It's a fumbled snap. More trouble for Roosevelt's offense. Tackled way back at the 20-yard line.
We talked about the jitters. The jitters get really jittery inside that red zone, and you just seen that. He put the ball on the ground twice in that little time frame, and that's what happens. Their composure has to stay. Even with our quarterback, the Lynx quarterback, that's going to happen in this ballgame. You're going to be inside that 20. You're going to be in that red zone. It's which quarterback keeps his head on straight inside of there and doesn't let everything around him, all the swarm, happen and causes a turnover.
And they've switched kickers now. It's the left-footed kicker, Anthony Erickson. This is from 37. And this one is good. So he knocks it through with 4:42 to go in the half. We've finally got points here at Pigskin Classic number 20. It is 3-0 Roosevelt.
4:42 to go in the first half. If Lynx fans are watching us, or even the Lynx fans out here at the game, that's a win for your defense. You were put in a bad situation with that punt return by Feldkamp. Put it down, I believe, to about the 11-yard line. And if you come out of there with only giving up 3 points, you made a pretty good stand. And so now offensively, the Lynx need to find something. We know that we can run the ball, but you gotta make that defense honest. Okay, you can't let the safeties come up and just play our run. They gotta, and that's what we did on the opening play. We tried to make their safeties stay home because that's what we tried the deep shot. Try it again. It's okay to try things to make the defense honest. Even if it doesn't work, it still puts something in the back of their head, their coaching staff, the defensive coaching staff for Roosevelt. It still makes them not want to let their safeties climb down and play the run. That should open Tate Johnson's for some more big runs.
And it's going to give Lucas Slack just more opportunities to make plays, because you want to win every game, but this is an opportunity for Lucas Slack to grow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got 9 games to play this season, and I'm done saying, boy, the Lynx schedule is brutal. That's just the way it's going to be now. You're going to play O'Gorman. You're going to play Roosevelt. You're going to play Lincoln. You're going to play Washington. So we're not going to say, boy, the Lynx schedule looks tough anymore. These are the teams they're going to play, and Lucas Slack is going to have to learn. And I think he's done fine so far. He hasn't had to do a ton, but this is a big drive for him.
But he's going to have to. At some point in this ball game, he's going to have to do a ton. At some point, and that's just going to happen. And what I'd love to see out of our coaching staff is trying to get the ball, like we talked about how Roosevelt did in their opening drive, to get their quarterback, accustomed and try to in a rhythm. Try to get outside the hashes a little bit and get to your playmakers a little bit outside the hashes on short passes.
Here's a pitch. Johnson. Flags on the play. Near the 21-yard line, they get maybe a yard. That's the first time he's really been stouted up at the line of scrimmage.
And, folks, watch the Roosevelt defense. They are climbing to the line of scrimmage prior to the snap. I mean, they are climbing up there. You got to make these guys honest. You cannot let them – we call it a box in football, offensive box or a defensive box. You can't let 8 guys climb into the box. You're not going to win the line of scrimmage that way.
So it's a holding penalty on Brandon Valley. And that's trouble. And they're saying that DJ Watkins has to come out for a play because his helmet fell off. Wickersham checking out of the game, and Lynx are going to try to maybe spread the ball out a little bit, because if he comes out, that usually means Sam Skolton is in. So we'll see what the Lynx try to do here. And they're still going to run it. And Johnson is going to get a pretty nice run all the way out near the 22-yard line. So they get all that yardage back, a gain of 12.
So Watkins goes out for the Rough Riders, and our offensive coaching staff goes right where he was and gains a chunk. Well, now he's back in the ball game. So, but watch the secondary. They are not respecting our deep threat at all. Zero. Watch the safeties. They're playing all level, and they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage.
Second and 8. Slack. They want to try to spread it out here. That one's too tall, incomplete. So Slack makes an adjustment. A couple of his throws were in the turf, and that one, it looked like just maybe sailed a little bit to Peyton Carroll, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 8.
And go back, you got to go back to Vegans. You got to try to get the ball somehow in Jackson Hilton's hands and Vegans, like we talked about. It can't be just Tate Johnson. That's the only weapon on the offense. There has to be they have to get the ball to somebody else. It just has to happen because I'm telling you, the Rough Riders, when they walked into this ball game, what they've been practicing for weeks now is to stop number 21.
As the play clock is again running out, and that is a learning curve as well. A couple of youngsters on this offense, but a couple of veterans as well.
And two really, really good coaching staffs. I mean, Kim Nelson and Chad Garrow have been around a long, long time. Their winning percentages are off the charts.
Yep.
And even in the AAA, when the AAA was formed, both of these teams have been just monsters inside that, along with Washington. Well, Gorman's starting to pick it up a little bit with their program, and that's a good thing inside the AAA. But really, these two coaching staffs have been the class, and with, like I said, with Washington, and it's a battle. You can see they're trying to figure out each other right now, both these coaching staffs. What can we attack, and can we keep on attacking to see what works? Okay, we saw on that last drive from the Lynx, they were running behind Shunky, and it was working. I mean, it was working. We were driving, and all of a sudden it stalled. But what can work? And I still think that running outside the tackles is where your money's going to be for the Lynx. Now, the other thing we have to do, you're looking at number 11 and number 15 out there for the Lynx.
Yep.
You got to find a way to get them the ball. And I don't care if it's on bubble screens. I don't care. They will get run after the catch. They will get yards.
And that's number 11, Jackson Hilton. He's at the bottom of your screen. Carroll in the slot. 3rd down and 8. Lynx really need to move the ball here. Here's Slack. He's going deep for Hilton. Good throw and good defense. A good defensive play by Tucker Large. That was a beauty from Lucas Slack. It was right there, but a good defensive play to knock it away from Jackson Hilton.
Boy, am I impressed with number 5 from Roosevelt.
That was a great defensive play.
Jackson Hilton is really good. He is one of the top receivers in this state. Tucker Large is, what I've seen so far in this first half, one of the best corners in this state. And he's really playing ball. He picked that one off. He jumped that route on that interception down here, and he's really playing a heck of a ball game.
And they punt it away again. Again, Feldkamp. Yeah, he's going to let this one bounce. And the Lynx better thank their lucky stars for it. Down at the 32-yard line. So Roosevelt's going to get the ball back once again with 3:09 to play in the first half. A very entertaining first half.
It is, and the turnover battle right now is 1-1. So usually in the turnover battle, who wins the ball game is the team that's winning the turnover battle. So you can't pin it on that. You can pin it on the scoreboard right now. It's only a 3-0 ball game with 3:09 to go in the first half.
And a couple of tough luck plays for the Lynx, a couple of penalties hurting them, one on offense, one on defense. Now we've got flags. And it looks like this is going to be offsides against Hilton, who was at the bottom of our screen as we see it.
And one thing about Jackson Hilton, he gets and we've seen this in other ball games last year. He gets a little bit frustrated if he's not being a big playmaker in the game, and we know that. Okay, so defensively, step up and make a play, Jackson. Somebody needs to make a play on defense so we can keep the score the way it is.
Here's Ashley. Nice run from the sophomore quarterback, and he's taken down after a first down run, getting the first down, gain of 14 to midfield, and we're under 3 to play as the clock stops and the sticks move. And Roosevelt once again are headed into Brandon Valley territory. Neither offense has looked spectacular. Ashley throws it out, pass is caught by Feldkamp. He gets loose down the right sideline, and he is gone. Touchdown, Rough Riders. Wow.
And that fast. And we talked about it in the beginning, in the pregame. You have to eliminate him. You absolutely have to. And I don't know how you do it, but that has to be your focus. You've seen it tonight in this first half. He's changed the momentum of the game by himself with the punt return. Now he's put both of those scores on his back.
Yep.
To be honest with you, you got to keep your composure here, and it's still a low scoring ball game.
Low snap, it's handled, and it's good. So a long punt return leads to a field goal, and then a 50-yard. I guess you would call that a bubble screen, wouldn't you?
It was.
Yep.
That's what they're.
Threw it right near the line of scrimmage.
And that's going to go. It doesn't matter. Okay, that's going to go as Ashley. That's going to be a touchdown pass for him. Okay, it wasn't a 50-yard pass. It was a 50-yard run after the catch.
Yep.
Okay, so that's going to count as a 50-yard pass for Ashley too. Okay, so at the end of the day, the Lynx have to try to. You can do that with Jackson Hilton all day too. He has that type of breakaway speed. Jackson Hilton does. You can do that out of your tight end position. You can do multiple things. Swing Tate Johnson out. You got to get these kids outside the hash so they can work. They can work with their speed, and that's going to be the interesting thing. If we don't come out of here with any points before the half with 2:33 to go, is what adjustments do we make to get our quarterback comfortable? Because now Ashley's going to be a little bit comfortable here.
Yep. And it seems like all bad news. Back-to-back scores for Roosevelt. They take a 10-0 lead. But the Lynx are going to get the ball with one timeout with 2:33 to go. And they get the ball to start the second half, and that's big. So we'll see if maybe with 2:33 to go and only one timeout, the Lynx do open up the offense a little bit. This is a short kick. And it is returned briefly by number 28, Jordan Johnson.
So as a coach thinking, so you got 2:27 to go, okay? You got a long field to go. You got a sophomore quarterback. Do you start throwing the ball here with 2:27 to go? I don't, because they know you're going to want to pass, and we don't want another turnover to give them the ball here going into halftime.
Especially when you get the ball to start the second half, as we said. So 2:27 to go. We'll see what the Lynx decide to do here. They're going to run the option. Johnson. And when you got a running back like Tate Johnson, with one timeout and less than 3 minutes to go, as we're at the 2:15 mark now, it's still not a terrible decision to try to run the ball. Try and get him out in some space.
It's not, but don't completely put it in. I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to think as a coaching aspect. Mm-hmm. What's got to play in your mind is that do we go into halftime 10-0 and not force a turnover here? Don't put the big game, the big half into your quarterback's hands as a sophomore. We'll see.
Slack. Going to try and run it. And didn't quite work. Maybe, they do get about 3 yards on the play. So it'll bring up a third down, a minute and a half to go here in the half.
And that's what it looks like that the offensive staff and Coach Garrow are doing right now is they're letting that time run. They're going to go into halftime. Not that they can't score here. I'm not saying they can't. But kind of take it out of his hands a little bit and regroup at halftime.
Third down from the 41. And they are going to run it with a read option. And they do move the sticks. That's a first down for Johnson. He's been the only one in the backfield so far. And he'll be spotted down at the 43-yard line. So maybe the Lynx take one shot to try and get into field goal range here. We'll see. Play action, lots of trouble. They dump it off to Vegans. And he is going to be able to get out of bounds, close to a first down. And it was caught by Vegans. Out of bounds at midfield. And still the Lynx need about 30 yards, or at least 25 yards to even give them a shot. with Zach Brummels, the junior kicker. I didn't see his leg in warm-ups. Roosevelt 1 of 2 on field goals today by 2 different kickers. First down from midfield. Excuse me, it's 2nd and 3. Slack, miscommunication, incomplete. Too tall for Peyton Carroll. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 3. 32 seconds left.
Well, and one thing is they're bringing at least 7, okay? They're bringing, I believe, at least 3 of their linebackers right now on blitzing. They're putting heavy pressure on their sophomore quarterback. And so one thing you can do is if they're going to bring that much pressure, hit them with a little screen, a slip screen. Because the linebackers, they're going to avoid. Watch, they're going to climb.
3rd and 3. They give it off. Here goes Johnson to the right side to the 20. And he's taken out of bounds in the red zone, and a flag comes in late. And Lynx fans are saying, and so are the players, that this might be going against Roosevelt.
It might be helmet to helmet on Feldkamp. They put Feldkamp back in the defensive backfield.
And another flag. And this is going to be unsportsmanlike against Roosevelt. And I think we know who it's going to be against.
And so that's a huge call by our offensive staff. So you can either do a screen or a draw, okay? So all these linebackers are coming, and then all of a sudden you just slip it and give a draw, and it worked perfect.
Plus 2 penalties, a helmet to helmet, and then an unsportsmanlike. And Feldkamp was still giving it to the referee.
So it's got to be half the distance to the goal, and then I don't know how they're going to tack on the other half of the distance to the goal.
Well, a half plus a half is a full, so that should be a touchdown. That's not true. So it's going to go to the 8.5-yard line.
So 3.5, 4.
So the Lynx are going to get the ball. So what they did, it was a personal foul, helmet to helmet. That got him to the 8-yard line. And then the unsportsmanlike gets it to the 4-yard line. So 21 seconds, and I believe the Lynx still have 1 timeout. They're going to have a shot at the end zone here right before half.
And one thing you're going to see here is
and now Roosevelt's going to take a timeout.
So everything we talked about when Roosevelt was inside the 20 in the red zone, everything tightens up. What our quarterback needs to do, keep his composure. Now they're going to load the box. They know we're going to try to give it to Tate Johnson. They know it. What if you fake it and then you do a quarterback keeper out to the outside?
Could work.
Because you know they're going to load it. They're going to. Tate Johnson's been all the offense tonight, and he's been all the offense besides the 2 penalties right here on this drive. And the other weapon that you have, and I don't know if you put the ball in the hands passing-wise on your sophomore quarterback at this crucial part of the game inside the red zone, but Vegans can pop right here as a tight end.
Yep.
And so it's going to be an interesting couple downs here if we do not get it inside. I think they do have a timeout. Our scoreboard doesn't say it.
Still working out the kinks on that scoreboard.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. I mean, you could watch they have it live. They have our live feed on there. You could watch that from the parking lot if you wanted to. And so, but how do you put it into your sophomore quarterback's hands? Okay, because they're going to try. They're going to take away 21. They're going to. You can't run him up the middle because we know 99's sitting in that middle. So it's a really, really crazy chess match right here.
So we'll see what both teams dial up. Peyton Carroll is in. So is Hilton. Johnson in the backfield. First and goal, 21 seconds to play. Play action. Slack. End zone. Incomplete, intended for Jackson Hilton. Looked like Joey Hughes got a hand in there. Hilton wants a flag. Looked like there might have been some hand grabbing going on there right at the corner of the end zone.
And so 16 seconds to go in this half. 10-0. Roosevelt. We started out this drive as saying, hey, just kind of bury the clock and go into halftime. The Lynx are in the red zone at the 4-yard line.
16 seconds to go in the half. Second and goal from the 4. Now they're going to give it. Johnson, it's huge. Touchdown. Touchdown, Brandon Valley. They score right before the half, and they are alive.
Boy,
That's a drive.
What a heartbreaker for that Roosevelt defense. I think they started with 2:23 to go on the clock. Not great field position, but you saw Tate Johnson take over that ball game, and that drive, and hats off to our offensive line.
So extra point coming from Zach Brummels. Mashlin gets down a high snap, and it is good. The Lynx needed that.
But look where most of our yards are coming from. From a freshman side of the football. I'm talking about in Navarro Shunke, okay? He is a freshman at 6'4", 270-pound right tackle. We are running all over them from the right side, and that's where he's ceiling big time. For a freshman, that's amazing.
And a sign of good things to come.
Yeah. Wow. So 10-7 ball game. That's a huge momentum breaker, I should say, from one end to the other for the Lynx going into halftime. It's such a negative for the Rough Riders. And we know that this game between number 1 and number 2 in the state, pretty evenly matched. It's a momentum thing. It's a mental thing. Everybody has talent out here. Both teams are ultra talented. It's all about how your coaching staff is going to coach and the chess match that they're playing between one another.
And you can even see the engagement on the sideline. The Lynx sideline is all of a sudden all up and ready to go as we get set. 10 seconds to go in the half. Both teams will probably head to halftime. This is a squibber. And the ball is loose. And Caden Frick falls on it. Sorry, that's his name. So 8 seconds. And I think both teams will just head into halftime. Roosevelt wants to get off this field as fast as they can at this point.
Well, one thing, we'll talk about it at halftime.
We'll have plenty to talk about,
that going into the second half for the Lynx offensively and defensively.
This type of game does not feel very 2020-ish. This is a bruiser of a game. Ashley heads left. And they're going to let the clock run out. There was about 1 second, but home team clock says, you know what, let's finish this thing off and head into halftime.
Put the zeros on the board.
Yeah, an excellent 2-minute drill, all on the ground for the Lynx. And at the half, it is 10-7 Roosevelt. And the one thing I keep thinking about, the penalties giveth and the penalties taketh.
Right.
2 penalties by the Lynx stop a drive, and then it keeps the drive alive where Roosevelt gets a field goal. And then back-to-back penalties by the guy who got Roosevelt all of its points on a bubble screen and then the long punt return that led to the field goal.
Right.
And he gets back-to-back penalties, and that is number 1, Tyler Feldkamp, who we said to keep an eye on. And it looks like the referees were a little bit late in the half, but boy, I mean, just a lot of feels like karma going on here.
The main thing going into halftime is for the Lynx, offensively, do what's working. Okay, you're going to run to the right. You're doing what's working off of Navarro Shunke. the freshman, the 6'4", 270-pound right tackle, he's doing a heck of a job. And so is Nate Myers, the 6'3", 220-pound junior, the right guard, because where they're picking up their big chunky yards are to the right, except for that draw play. That there was a big chunky yards on that draw play on their last drive. But offensively, you got to try to find a way still to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Besides Tate Johnson, get the ball in the hands of Jackson Hilton. They've tried a few passes to Jackson, and they've completed a couple to Vegans. But you got to get them in space. You got to make a 5-yard to a 7-yard to a 10-yard throw and get them into space and make your quarterback comfortable. Defensively, your number one goal, if I'm coaching that team right now defensively and I'm in that locker room, we are going to scheme everything to stop number one. If he touches the ball, he gains minimal yards. He's going to touch the ball. That's it's a given. So how do you minimize his run after the catch? That's the key. Special teams, you don't give him the ball. You get it out of bounds. You don't squib kick